தமிழ்நாட்டின் பாரம்பரிய கட்டிடங்களை சிறப்பிக்கும் 4 எம்ப்ராய்டர்ட் பிக்சர் போஸ்ட் கார்ட்ஸ், தமிழ்நாட்டின் சிறப்பு அஞ்சல் உரைகளையும் அஞ்சல் தலைகளையும் உள்ளடக்கிய இ-புக், இன்றைய நவநாகரிக உலகிற்கு ஏற்றவாறு புது பரிமாணங்களுடன் பிரதிபலிக்கும் ஃபேஷன் ஸ்டாம்ப்களை கொண்ட புக்லெட் ஆகியவை வெளியிடப்பட உள்ளன. நிகழ்வு இன்னும் சற்று நேரத்தில் ஆரம்பமாக உள்ளது.
A legacy of commitment, trust and dedicated service, our Tamil Nadu Postal Circle has been the backbone of communication for generations, evolving with the time while staying true to its core values of efficiency and reliability. Our chief guest for today's event, Dr. Divya Satyan, has arrived, and I request everyone to remain seated and please have your cell phones in silent mode.
Tanapex 2025 நிறைவு விழா இன்னும் சற்று நேரத்தில் ஆரம்பமாக உள்ளது. அனைவரும் தங்கள் இருக்கை
Finance to release in the presence of Dr. Divya Satyan, Director, National Institute of Fashion Technology, Chennai.
தமிழகத்தின் பாரம்பரிய அஞ்சல் கட்டிடங்கள் பற்றிய 4 எம்ப்ராய்டர்ட் பிக்சர் போஸ்ட் கார்ட்ஸை நேஷனல் இன்ஸ்டிடியூட் ஆஃப் ஃபேஷன் டெக்னாலஜி இயக்குனர் டாக்டர் திவ்யா சத்யன் அவர்கள் முன்னிலையில் தமிழ்நாடு அஞ்சல் கணக்குகள் மற்றும் நிதித்துறையின் பொது மேலாளர் திரு சித்தரஞ்சன் பிரதான் அவர்கள் வெளியிடுகிறார்.
Now we request our General Manager, the embroidered picture postcards on postal heritage buildings of Tamil Nadu is now being released and being displayed to the audience now.
தமிழகத்தின் பாரம்பரிய அஞ்சல் கட்டிடங்கள் பற்றிய பிக்சர் போஸ்ட் கார்ட்ஸ் வெளியிடப்படுகின்றது.
Now we request our General Manager, Postal Accounts and Finance to kindly release the booklet of stamps on fashion in the august presence of Dr. Divya Satyan, Director, National Institute of Fashion Technology, Chennai.
ஃபேஷன் ஸ்டாம்ப்களை கொண்டு புக்லெட் வெளியிடப்படுகின்றது. இதனை தமிழ்நாடு அஞ்சல் கணக்குகள் மற்றும் நிதித்துறையின் பொது மேலாளர் வெளியிடுகின்றார். இன்றைய நவநாகரிக உலகிற்கு ஏற்றவாறு புது பரிமாணங்களுடன் பிரதிபலிக்கும் ஃபேஷன் ஸ்டாம்ப்களை கொண்ட புக்லெட் வெளியிடப்படுகின்றது.
The booklets of stamps on fashion is now being released and displayed to the audience.
தொடர்ந்து தமிழ்நாடு பற்றிய சிறப்பு அஞ்சல் உரைகள் மற்றும் அஞ்சல் தரைகள் நிறைந்த இ-புக் வெளியிடப்பட உள்ளது. தமிழ்நாடு அஞ்சல் கணக்குகள் மற்றும் நிதித்துறையின் பொது மேலாளர் திரு சித்தரஞ்சன் பிரதான் அவர்களை இதனை வெளியிடுமாறும், சவுத் இந்தியன் Philatelic அசோசியேஷன் செயலாளர் திரு மகேஷ் பரேக் அவர்களை இதனை பெற்றுக்கொள்ளுமாறும் கேட்டுக்கொள்கின்றோம்.
We are now witnessing the release of e-book on stamps and special covers of Tamil Nadu. It is now being released by Shri Chittaranjan Pradhan, General Manager Postal Accounts and Finance, and is received by Shri Mahesh Parik, Secretary, South India Philatelic Association.
Thank you, sir. தமிழ்நாடு பற்றிய சிறப்பு அஞ்சல் உரைகள் மற்றும் அஞ்சல் தலைகள் நிறைந்த இ-புக் வெளியிடப்படுகின்றது.
As the e-book is now being released, it is presented to the President, South India Philatelic Association, Sri Mahesh Parik.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, madam. தமிழ்நாட்டின் சிறப்பு அஞ்சல் உரைகள் மற்றும் அஞ்சல் தலைகள் அடங்கிய இ-புக் தற்பொழுது வெளியிடப்பட்டது. மற்ற புத்தகங்களை விட இ-புக்களின் சிறப்பம்சம் மரங்களை வெட்டிடாமல், சூழலை சிதைக்காமல், ஈகோ ஃப்ரெண்ட்லியாக உருவாக்கப்படுபவை அவை. இன்று வெளியிடப்பட்ட இ-புக்கில் நம் தமிழ்நாட்டின் அஞ்சல் உரைகளும் அஞ்சல் தலைகளும் பதிக்கப்பட்டுள்ளன. மதிப்பிற்குரிய சென்னை நகர மண்டல அஞ்சல் துறை தலைவர் திரு ஜி நடராஜன் அவர்களின் தலைமையில் பல்வேறு காலகட்டங்களில் தமிழ்நாட்டை பெருமைப்படுத்தும் வகையில் வெளியிடப்பட்ட பல்வேறு அஞ்சல் தலைகள் மற்றும் சிறப்பு அஞ்சல் உரைகள் இதில் தொகுக்கப்பட்டுள்ளன. இத்தனை தொகுப்புகளை சேர்த்து ஒரே புத்தகத்தில் கொண்டு வருவது எளிமையானது அல்ல. அது ஒரு இமாலய சாதனை என்று சொன்னால் அது மிகையல்ல.
Under the able guidance of Shri G. Natarajan, Postmaster General, Chennai City Region, the daunting task of collecting all the stamps in special covers of Tamil Nadu was undertaken. Collecting, verifying, and assimilating the collected stamps into one single e-book required tremendous effort. It is of no doubt it is to be a philatelic treasure for ages to come.
தமிழ்நாடு அஞ்சல் கணக்குகள் மற்றும் நிதித்துறையின் பொது மேலாளர் திரு சித்தரஞ்சன் பிரதான் அவர்கள் ஒரு தலைவர் மட்டுமல்ல, ஒரு வழிகாட்டி, புதுமையாளர் மற்றும் நம் அஞ்சல் துறையின் வளர்ச்சிக்கு அடித்தளம். அவரது தலைமையில் நிதி நிர்வாகம் என்பது ஒரு கலையாக மாறியுள்ளது. அவர்களை தலைமை உரை வழங்க வருமாறு அன்புடன் அழைக்கின்றோம்.
வணக்கம். Good morning. Respected Dr. Divya Satyan, the Director NIFT, my colleagues Akhil and Manoj on the stage, Sri Natarajan, PMG CCR, Sri Devraj, DPS headquarters, all the officers, all our colleagues from the department, the others present here, the philatelists, the member of the jury, and my dear students and the school authorities, and all present here. This is the fourth day we have been told this, and all these 3 days, previous 3 days have been so engaging for us, and we are so thrilled to have so many visitors for this exhibition. So per se, not many people do come, but then like it is so immensely satisfying to see that like the young children and the schools and the public at large are taking so much of interest in philately, I must say the art of stamp collection, this thing. So now that we have been into the fourth day, we are celebrating ourselves today, the Tamil Nadu Postal Circle. And in the past 3 days, we have celebrated our beloved state of Tamil Nadu. This thing. So when we celebrate ourselves, I must say, and I will address particularly the children, school children today, that since you have come to this philatelic exhibition today, you have become philatelists. You are in philately. So many of you might have heard this word, many of you might not have heard this thing. So basically, in layman terms, we call philately stamp collection. So now, how do you collect this stamp, and where do you collect this stamp, and what will you collect when you collect a stamp? That questions may be coming in your mind. So I will tell you what these things are. And as I said, now that you have become philatelist, you have started your journey. Many of you might be collecting the stamps from earlier periods, but now you have started the journey, those who have not been initiated into this particular hobby. This is a hobby, this thing. And it is said that a journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step only. And now today, my friends, you can start your journey of being a philatelist. Those who are in philately are known as philatelists, with collection of a single stamp. and you see, you pursue that particular hobby of collecting the stamp, and you see over a period of time, month by month, year by year, your collection of stamps will increase to a sizable collection. And today, after this particular inaugural function, you would be going to the exhibition hall to see there that how people, the philatelists, have displayed their stamps, how they have arranged them, how they have collected them, and they are nourishing those stamps. And also you will see that there would be badges of gold, golden color badges or silver color badges with the writing that this particular frame or stamps have won the gold medal or large silver medal or some other awards, this thing. I wish tomorrow or a day will come, many of you will have that particular badge in one of the frames of philately in this state as well as outside states and outside of this country also. This thing. So now let me answer the questions that may be coming to your mind, that why should I collect a stamp? One thing is, as we have heard, we have conducted this exhibition for the past 4 days, including today, and we are immensely satisfied only to see that so many collectors have displayed their stamps here. So now when you collect your stamp and when you see them in your stamp album, we usually keep them in stamp albums, this thing, and you, I am sure, will derive more satisfaction than seeing your family album. At the end of the day, it gives a lot of satisfaction, this thing, to have a collection of stamps, this thing. Again, every stamp has to tell a story. Every stamp has its own story, own history. Whenever you collect a stamp, I would request you to collect a brochure of the stamp also. A write-up of the stamp, it does not cost much, it costs only 5 rupees. Therein, you will get to know what the stamp is all about, what paper has been used, who has designed the stamp, where it was printed, how many numbers of such stamps were printed and when it was printed. So it has its own history. Not only that, most of the stamps of any country, for that matter, they have a history of their own. They tell a story. You have seen, we inaugurated the embroidered postcards of 4 heritage buildings, British era heritage buildings of Tamil Nadu. And all these buildings have their own history, their own story. And on a lighter note, I will say that one such building, which we call a red building, exists. And we have been maintaining all those 4 buildings, including that one. And on the day of inauguration of this exhibition, we had one head of the postal department, the secretary post, who has retired long back, and he said that are you still using that red building? Yes, I said, yes sir, we are using. He said okay, you keep maintaining that. And the interesting thing which is said about that particular building is, do you know there is another building underground, down below in the ground for that building? I said, I never knew this thing. So I don't know this thing. So I was very curious. I said, sir, did you get any evidence of this particular thing? I should not have asked you, but I am so curious. He said, yes, this thing. But I have never explored because I was living in that premise. I know that there is a building underneath the building. So my point is, everything tells a story. By reading stories, by knowing all these things, you get to know about it, you increase your knowledge. And it is said that knowledge is power. You become powerful. You become powerful through these stamps. Then the little stamp that you have collected today, we in the Department of Post sell it at its face value. Means if 5 rupees is written, we will be giving you this particular stamp at 5 rupees only. If you keep it, probably in a few years or like 15-20 years, this stamp will be valued at the value of gold. So many stamps are there, they have become become rare, and they are sold in the markets at a very, very high value. So many people, on the first day of inauguration, the chairperson of this exhibition also said that paintings, many people invest in stamps, and they have been reaping good benefit, a lot of returns by investing in stamps. So no wonder, friends, that this particular hobby is known as the king of all the hobbies and also the hobby of the kings. You feel like a king if you nurture this particular hobby. Then the next it comes that how do I do it? We are here to do the hand holding for you. Some selected post offices have something called a philately bureau. You can open an account for as low as 200 rupees only, and we will be delivering your desired stamp at your home every month. Then you can walk into the post offices, buy the stamp. We have one e-post office also. You can buy stamps of your preference from the e-post office on online mode. Then we have these exhibitions. When you visit the first floor, the exhibition hall, we have 20 stalls who are selling the stamps. They also at times buy the stamps from you. Not only stamps, they would be selling the stamp accessories, the stamp album, etc. And these associated things like coins and the coin accessories, this thing. There is a huge market for this, and many people are making their living out of trading the stamps. So going forward, if you have multiple stamps, some of these stamps you can sell and earn a good amount of money going forward, this thing. Next comes, what will I do? What should I collect? You collect anything. Any stamp, any envelope, used envelopes, anything. Now when you go to the first floor exhibit hall to see, you will see some of the envelopes on which some stamps are there and which are cancelled. Means some seal has been put on that and they are displayed there. So like if you ask the owner of that particular envelope with that old stamp duly cancelled, we call it cancelled or stamped, and if you offer so much money also, he will not be willing to part with that particular thing. Then we have, what you can do, we have the themes. Suppose that a friend of us likes aeroplanes. So start collecting stamps on aeroplanes. If you like birds or butterflies, start collecting them along with the other stamps. And it becomes a theme for you. And you, over a period of time, become expert not only on stamp collection on that particular theme, but also on butterflies or aeroplanes or cars or the theme that you are pursuing. This thing. And we have today, we are fortunate to have you, ma'am, today. And I must say that we have a close association with your institution. Like many of our stamps are designed by NIFT these days. And not only that, on fashion, we have a small booklet of stamps on fashion. Beyond that also, so many of them are there. So there are themes like Vastra. There are themes like traditional Indian costumes. And you will be wondered to know that there are about 50 stamps issued in India on headgears. The topis, pagadis, and the crowns and all these things. So I know a couple of friends who collect these headgears, this thing. So they are also from. And here, ma'am, on the first day itself, we celebrated leather. we had a special cover release and a GI tagging. We celebrated Murukku and all these stuffs. So we have been doing it. And another thing I would tell the children before winding up, that there is a place, a site called Post Crossing. We had one workshop here, you might have missed it. Of course, we had so many seminars, workshops, and competitions, this thing, and many of you participated in those and won the awards also, which we would be like distributing in the afternoon today. So that Post Crossing, simply you have to go to a website called postcrossing.com. Register yourself, get one random address, maybe from Canada or Germany or from any country for that matter, this thing, Russia, and to that given address, you send a postcard. So when you send to the nearby countries, it costs only 15 rupees postage stamp, otherwise 25 rupees. So it costs this. So after some time, you will, suppose that you have sent a postcard to Germany. After a month or two, you will receive a postcard from Australia. You give your preference that you like temples or the religious places, and somebody will try to see that she would be sending you a postcard of your choice. And you can send a postcard of your choice or the person's choice there. And day by day, month by month, year by year, your postcard collection increases. And I hope sometimes I will also come and see your postcard collection in one of the frames in the exhibition in times to come. Thank you, everybody.
அஞ்சல் தலை சேகரிப்பின் பெருமைகளையும் குழந்தைகளிடம் அவை ஏற்படுத்தும் தாக்கத்தையும் அஞ்சல் தலைகளில் முதலீடு செய்வதன் முக்கியத்துவத்தையும் எடுத்துக் கூறி தலைமை உரை வழங்கிய தமிழ்நாடு அஞ்சல் கணக்குகள் மற்றும் நிதித்துறையின் பொது மேலாளர் திரு சித்தரஞ்சன் பிரதான் அவர்களுக்கு நன்றி.
Dr. Divya Sathyan boasts an extensive industry experience working with renowned brands like Liz Claiborne, Otto Versen, Triberg, Eddie Bauer, and with leading industry experts since the year 1992. Dr. Divya Sathyan is associated with National Institute of Fashion Technology, Chennai, since the year 2002. A prolific reader, researcher, and a collector of knowledge, she is specialized in all subjects related to apparel manufacturing. She has authored over 26 papers through various international presentations. She is an active contributor to the administrative structure of the Institute, holding numerous responsible academic and administrative posts. Now, we take the pleasure to invite our esteemed guest of honor, Dr. Divya Sathyan, Director, National Institute of Fashion Technology, Chennai, for the keynote address.
Thank you. Vanakkam, Namaskar, good morning to distinguished guests on the dais and the enthusiastic audience present here. I am very honored and I am extremely humbled to be invited to Tanapex today. My heartfelt thanks to the Chief Postmaster General, Tamil Nadu Circle, Srimati Mariamma Thomas, and the Postmaster General, Tamil Nadu, for this invite. I must say that my congratulations to, after hearing to what Sri Pradhan had to say, to all of you for organizing and introducing so many innovative things which are bringing the postal circle and the post office services to our homes, our lives and our lifestyles. So I really congratulate you on the successful conduct of the 14th state level Philately exhibition. I'm sure that many of the visitors must be intrigued by the exhibition which I have just seen a part of. I did not have time to look at the whole thing, but it was extremely interesting to see what all different ways in which the stamps have been categorized, they have been put together, the kind of interest that people have had in collecting even something as simple as the barcodes on the stamps. It's amazing. And it really is, I bow down to the people who have spent their lives in this hobby, because as rightly said, it is not just a hobby, it is a hobby which also gains you finances. So I think both ways it really works well. When I got this invitation a few days back, I must say I was intrigued, but I did not know how should I connect fashion with stamps. It was something which was very different as an area for me. I had to consciously pause, and I had to think about how this union will come around, because it is something that doesn't naturally come to me, connecting stamps with fashion. But then as I thought more and more about it, I was transported back to my childhood. It is when stamps held such a strong intrigue for all of us. As children, whenever the post came, it came for the parents. For us, it was the envelope. It was the stamp that we took out and that we collected. And then we exchanged our collection and compared it with our friends. So there was a lot of enthusiasm to collect the stamps which came from different parts of India, and sometimes definitely we waited for stamps which are coming from abroad. And it became a pastime for us when we did not have our cell phones and televisions as children to spend time. This was a beautiful way of spending time with each other. And let me tell you that not just a time spending, it was extremely educative. It was very educative, it was very, it led to a lot of knowledge building in us as children, because when I see what all I imbibed semi-consciously or subconsciously at the time of looking at where the stamps were coming from, there are many aspects in the field of design that I can connect to today. So if you are looking at design perspective, just look at the font of the stamps. There are so many different types of fonts that we look at. There are so many different colors that the stamps represent in. In fact, even the sizes are something that is very, very interesting for somebody who's a student of design. We also have the most beautiful thing which happens in terms of the themes, as you were talking about the storytelling of the stamps. So very often we forget that each and every little thing that comes on that postcard or on that inland or on that envelope is something that carries the story of somebody who's worked on that stamp behind it, and that story needs to be told. Design and fashion is all about the narrative. And this narrative is beautifully told by the stamps, and I must say that stamps is I would say, in a very humble way, the cultural ambassadors of a country. They are the ones that carry the stories all over the world for us. So in the same way as fashion and clothing does carry the stories of our traditions all over the world, stamps do the same. So therefore, I was able to find a connect like that. That is how I was able to connect, and I said, yes, this is how it is. And it has been reinforced when I went up to see your exhibition, that is true, that the stories that are being told through your stamps have got so much of fashion into it. And when we talk about fashion, let me just enlighten you a little bit as a director of the Premier Institute of Fashion in India. Very often we think fashion is to do just with the way that I dress and I clothe myself. Dear audience, it is not just that. Fashion is in every single way that we lead our lives. It can be fashion in food, it can be fashion in the way that you are portraying yourself, in your hairstyle, the way that you are dressing. As you said, the headgears, the watches, the perfume, the music that you listen to, all of these are part and parcel of the fashion lifestyle agenda. And so it is not just that when we look at fashion, we just look at the clothing and the textile and we say that is it. It is not it. It's a very serious business. It's a multi-trillion-dollar business the world over. And all of it requires a lot of learning. And therefore, I am able to connect this learning with the kind of learning that the senior philatelists do in terms of collecting those stories in their stamps. As you all know, fashion and textiles has been a part of the ancient India. It has been found, evidence has been found in written literature and also in our excavations of textiles which belongs to that era. And at one point of time, we were one of the most major exporters of textiles the world over. And this evidence is there in the best museums of the world today, where you have Indian textiles being displayed with great care. Because they were worn or they were exported and traded only for the kings and queens. They were so beautiful and so rich that they were only meant for the kings and queens. The normal public could not afford it. We see the evidence of this in our monuments, in our temples, where all the sculptures are even though they are centuries old, they still wear draped clothing. You look at the history of the nations which boast that they are very old, they do not have any of this evidence, while we have that. That means we are connected in a very, very grassroots level, at cultural level, at traditional level, with our history, which is then being shown in the way that is in our sculptures, it's in our buildings, it's in our clothing, and of course it is finding that stamp of authority in the small stamps that have been released today and over the years, which I saw so many of that. We have I have heard today a lot of new things that I did not know about the post office initiatives. And I'm sure that when I go back today, I would be interested in participating in one of them. Definitely. To be able to connect to people, like-minded people who have interest in, let's say, the fashion and dress of the world over, to send my country's traditional costumes on the stamp to them and to see what they consider and how old are their traditions. Even though we study it in the books, I think the experience of receiving it would be something beyond compare. With your collection of stamps today that has been released and the embroidered postcards, all of this is a testament to the complementary nature of fashion and the stamps in terms of becoming ambassadors of India's cultural traditions to the world. And I think nothing better in form of recognition can come for India's clothing industry. Some of the stamps that I saw today also contain not just the clothing, but I'm so happy to see that there were stamps which are on the process of how this clothing and fashion gets made. That process is very important. That process is what brings the seriousness to fashion as an education, which is what is not seen by many people, because what they see is only the ramp walk. And on the ramp, what you see is not the people who have worked on that fashion, but the people who are just adorning it. So the people who have actually worked on it are extremely serious workers. Some of the best known names of the fashion world today have graduated from NIFT, and I'm happy to say, or let you all know, that NIFT Chennai completes 30 years in Chennai this year. And NIFT as a whole has started on its journey of 40 years in India. And we are the only institute from India, in fact from Asia, which is in the top 10 rankings globally in the fashion institutes. So that is a big pride for us, and for associating with an extremely old tradition of India today, I feel very honored for that. So I would like to take this opportunity to immensely thank the Tamil Nadu Postal Circle for releasing this booklet of stamps on fashion, the e-book of stamps, the special covers of Tamil Nadu, and the embroidered picture postcards on the postal heritage buildings of Tamil Nadu, which are beautiful. You must buy them. They are really, really pretty. I am very confident that not only the philatelists amongst us, but even the common people will make these stamps a collectible item and will treasure and keep them forever. I thank you once again for this beautiful opportunity today. Namaskar, Vanakkam, Jai Hind.
It was really commendable the way you connected the fashion and stamps in its very intricate ways, madam, and the narration of getting connected to the age-old stamp and the need of fashion which everyone consciously or unconsciously possess. Yes, madam, it's indeed absolute true that stamps are the cultural ambassadors of country. We are so excited to collaborate with NIFT Chennai sooner in all possible ways. Thank you, madam.
Tanapex 2025 நிறைவு நாள் விழாவின் அடுத்த நிகழ்வாக சென்னை நகர மண்டல அஞ்சல் துறை இயக்குனர் திரு மேஜர் மனோஜ் அவர்களை நன்றியுரை வழங்க அழைக்கின்றோம்.
First of all, I would like to place my sincere thanks for our GM Financer for being a pillar of financial support for the entire Tamil Nadu circle, because finance is the most important thing in any organization, as we have already read that so much about that in management. You know, everything, our planning, organization, everything revolves around finance. So if finance is there, then moral, emotional and psychological support always follows. So I would like to place my sincere thanks to GM sir for gracing this occasion, sir. Thank you, sir. Next is our guest of honor, Mrs. Divya Satin ma'am. We have today she's decorating this, rightly put, from a fashion field. She's decorating this stage in a very grand manner. So ma'am is coming from a fashion field. Ma'ams, I would say that ma'am and her professional forefathers, are the ones who, created a divide, I can say, who differentiated between dress and fashion, like food and cuisine. So they were the ones who made, their professional forefathers were the ones who made Homo sapiens as man. So that is the divide which we create between animals and man. So இந்த குழந்தைங்கள்லாம் இங்கே நிறைய பேர் வந்திருக்கீங்க. ஸோ அதனால் நான் சொல்கிறேன் உங்களுக்கு, மேடம் பற்றி அவங்களோட இம்பார்ட்டன்ஸ் பற்றி நான் உங்களுக்கு ஒரு 2-3 வரிகளில் சொல்லணும்னு பார்க்குறேன். அடுத்த முறை வந்துட்டு நீங்கள் எல்லாம் வந்துட்டு உங்கள் யூனிஃபார்மையும் உங்கள் ட்ரெஸ்ஸையும் குறை சொல்கிறதுக்கு முன்னாடி வந்துட்டு நீங்கள் அதுக்கு பின்னாடி இருக்கிற வரலாறை வந்துட்டு யோசிச்சு பார்க்கணும். இப்போ நான் உங்கள் கையில் வந்துட்டு ஒரு சின்ன, இஃப் ஐ கிவ் யூ ஸ்மால் பண்டில் ஆஃப் காட்டன், ஒரு சின்ன பஞ்சை கொடுத்து அதில் நூலாக மாற்றணும்னா உங்களால் மாற்ற முடியுமா? நிச்சயமாக முடியாது. உங்கள் கிளாஸே சேர்ந்து மாற்றணும்னா கூட முடியாது. உங்கள் ஸ்கூலே சேர்ந்து மாற்றணும்னா கூட இயலாத காரியம். ஸோ அந்த நூலுக்கு பின்னாடி ஒரு பெரிய டெக்னாலஜி இருக்குது, அந்த வீவிங் டெக்னாலஜி இருக்குது. அதோட முக்கியத்துவத்தை நீங்கள் மறுபடியும் நல்லா புரிஞ்சுக்கணும். அதே மாதிரி வந்துட்டு ஒரு நம்ம ஷர்ட்டில் இருக்கிற ஒரு பட்டன், நான் போட்டிருக்கிற கோட்லேருந்து எல்லாமே வந்துட்டு ஃபேஷன் வடிவமைப்பாளர்களால், டிசைனரால் அதோட ரா மெட்டீரியல்ஸ் ப்ரொக்யூர் பண்ணி, அதை வந்துட்டு டிசைன் பண்ணி, பிளான் பண்ணி, அதுக்கான டெக்னாலஜியை உருவாக்கி, அதை வந்துட்டு எந்த அளவுக்கு வந்துட்டு லோ காஸ்ட்டில் கொடுக்க முடியுமோ அந்த அளவுக்கு லோ காஸ்ட்டில் வந்துட்டு கொடுக்கறதுக்கான எல்லா முயற்சியும் வந்துட்டு நம்ம திவ்யா சத்யன் மேம் போன்ற ப்ரொஃபஷனல்ஸ் தான் வந்துட்டு நம்ம பண்ணிட்டு இருக்காங்க. அதர்வைஸ் வந்துட்டு இப்போ நம்ம போட்டிருக்கிற இந்த ட்ரெஸ் வந்துட்டு இப்போ ஒரு 500 rupees per மீட்டர்னாக்கா இட் wouldn't be that way. It would be more than that. 2000, 3000 rupees கொடுத்து நம்ம வெள்ளக்காரங்க கிட்ட தான் நம்ம இம்போர்ட் பண்ண வேண்டியதாக இருந்திருக்கும். ஸோ அந்த அளவுக்கு ஒரு முக்கியத்துவம் வாய்ந்த ஃபீல்டிலிருந்து வந்திருக்காங்க மேடம். ஸோ ஃபியூச்சரில் வந்துட்டு மேடம் பார்த்து நிறைய பேர் இன்ஸ்பயர் ஆகி ஃபேஷன் டெக்னாலஜியோ இல்லை டெக்ஸ்டைல் டெக்னாலஜியோ போவீங்கன்ற நல்ல நம்பிக்கை வந்துட்டு எங்களுக்கு இருக்குது. ஸோ தேங்க்யூ ஃபார் டெக்கரேட்டிங் திஸ் ஸ்டேஜ் மேம். Next, I would like to place my sincere thanks to our hero, Natarajan sir, for silently observing and heading this function. Everything goes well. Next, DPS headquarters sir, we thank you all, and all my colleagues and postal family. We thank you one and all. And today, இன்னைக்கு தான் வந்து நம்ம valediction function. So இன்னைக்கு last 3 days மாதிரி இன்னைக்கு வந்துட்டு ஒரு சிறப்பான ஒரு கண்காட்சியை வந்துட்டு நம்ம மாணவர்களுக்கு கொடுக்க வேண்டும் என்று கூறி நன்றி பெற்று விடைபெறுகிறேன். தேங்க்யூ.
ஃபேஷன் டெக்னாலஜியின் சிறப்புகளை எடுத்துக்கூறி நன்றியுரை வழங்கிய சென்னை நகர மண்டல அஞ்சல் துறை இயக்குனர் திரு மேஜர் மனோஜ் அவர்களுக்கு நன்றி. விழாவின் நிறைவாக நாட்டுப்பண்.
Let us all stand to our feet for the national anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल गंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे.
இன்றைய நிறைவு நாள் விழாவின் முதல் செஷன் இதோடு நிறைவடைந்தது.
With this, the first session of today's event is concluding. Thank you one and all.